in color, the continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington, Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington, James Douglas as Stephen Cord.
Rodney Harrington has come to Peyton High School to pick up Rachel Wells at the conclusion of her night class. For Rodney, this is a duty to the Elliot Carson family. The importance of being here on time has been hammered home to him by the Carsons and Dr. Michael Rossi. They're all concerned about a man named Jack Chandler, a man who has had Rachel on his mind for many years. Rodney is here on time, and he has just been informed that Mr. Carson picked up Rachel some time ago.
Hello, Mr. Carson. This is Rod. Listen, you could have saved me a trip, you know, if you'd have said you were coming down to pick up Rachel. I do have a phone in the garage.
What are you talking about, Rod?
What am I talking about? I'm talking about Rachel.
What about her?
I was supposed to come down to the school and pick her up, wasn't I?
Yes.
Well, you picked her up.
No, I didn't.
What do you mean, no, you didn't? They told me you did.
I'm going to hang up now, Rod. Sergeant Goddard, please. It's urgent.
Tell me what happened, Rachel. What made the Mackenzie girl bolt out of here the night Lucy died? What scared her? What could she have seen? What were you doing?
Why did you wait until now?
I couldn't risk scaring you off. Now, I got no more time. They got a warrant out for me. You don't belong in Peyton Place.
If you had only left me alone.
You belong with me.
They were starting to like me. I know they were. They were starting to accept me. To love me. Even Mr. Carson.
Who are you kidding? They're not going to understand something like this. And it's a part of you. Like it or not, it's not something you can forget. And when the truth comes out, when you have to tell the Carsons, a boyfriend in the garage, or the doctor friend.
I didn't. It isn't true.
When they read these, when they find out what you did to your folks.
It was an accident.
You were locked in your room. You were being punished, but you found some matches.
An accident?
The child admitted she'd been playing with matches.
You're just like Aunt Lucy. Using it to get me to do what you want.
I don't want you to do anything, Rachel. I'm just trying to tell you I understand. I know what you've been going through on account of this.
You couldn't.
I'm sorry, honey. Is that what happened with Lucy? Rachel?
I couldn't stand it any longer. Anything I do, she'd pull out those letters and those clippings from my mother saying I was bad. And then she'd scream that I belonged in jail, that I didn't belong in a God-fearing home. And that I'd murdered her sister. Just like...
Grabbed the Bible.
I had to get them away from her.
She wouldn't let go.
No, I had to destroy those clippings and those papers once and for all. I had to.
You're very strong, Rachel.
No, wait.
She collapsed.
I wasn't anywhere around when she died, I swear.
The Mackenzie girl saw it, Rachel.
She was lying.
I was on my way here. She ran out of the woods into the road right in front of me. She was shaking all over and babbling like a person who'll do shocked. And what she said wasn't pretty either. The farmhouse, a girl with long hair fighting with an old lady, hitting her, screaming. The old lady falling and not getting up, falling and not getting up. She kept repeating it over and over, falling and not getting up.
Please, I didn't do it. I didn't kill her. I hated her and I wanted to lots of times, but I didn't do it. It was an accident. It was an accident.
Betty, I want to talk to you.
I was just getting Stephen some coffee. He has to finish a brief. He'll be waiting.
Let him wait. He can afford the luxury. I can't. I'm an old man. But you don't have to be reminded of that, do you, Betty? Why did you lie to me at the cemetery? It was a very cruel thing to do. Trying to convince me that I was losing my memory, making me doubt my own competence.
People forget things.
I would never forget a decision to change my daughter's grave. I could have brushed aside whatever Stephen said as preposterous. But you backed up his story, Betty. And for a little while, I believed it. I saw myself doomed to outlive my usefulness, to end my days as a mindless vegetable rotting in the sun.
I didn't intend anything.
You have too much respect for me, and I believe affection, to have lied out of pure caprice.
I didn't lie.
Then why have you been avoiding me?
We've both been very busy, that's all.
Stephen said I first raised the subject at the dinner table. You must recall how it came up.
You were saying that it was only a few more days until the anniversary of Catherine's death, and that you never did agree with Leslie Harrington's choice of a gravesite.
And the exact night of this supposed discussion?
It was last week.
Last week. It's my recollection that there were only 2 nights last week that the 3 of us had the pleasure of dining together. Tuesday and Thursday. I took the trouble to confirm it with Mary.
Then it was one of them.
Which?
Thursday. Yes, it was Thursday, because I distinctly remember...
Thursday, my dear. We had a dinner guest. Judge Fisher. I don't think I'd have brought up a personal problem in his presence. And Tuesday, the main topic of conversation was a boring discussion between you and Stephen as to whether he should invest in a new lightweight summer suit. And if he did, would banker's gray or herringbone be more practical?
You didn't have to ask me if I'd lied.
I didn't ask if, Betty. I asked why. I understand. You're being loyal. Foolishly loyal. I had such great hopes for your happiness, Betty. Yours and Rodney's. I can't believe you're happy now, any more than Rodney is. You're a very confused young lady. You're fighting old guilts. You're torn by false loyalties. Don't shake your head. You know what I say is true, and that I wouldn't say it unless I cared for you.
You put me in the middle.
You put yourself in the middle. It's time you made up your mind what you want out of life and who you are. Betty Anderson, Mrs. Rodney Harrington, or Mrs. Stephen Cord?
I am Mrs. Stephen Cord. I'm going to stay Mrs. Stephen Cord.
Mrs. Cord. I am Mrs. Stephen Cord, and I'm going to stay Mrs. Stephen Cord. Oh, Betty, you were magnificent.
How much did you hear?
Oh, that was all, but it was enough.
Yes.
I suppose he questioned you about what happened at the cemetery? Yeah, I thought it would put a jolt in him.
Stephen, your grandfather knows I lied.
He can't be sure. Besides, it doesn't matter. There were witnesses. There was the caretaker, the cemetery manager, Jordan. Now, I've done what I set out to do.
He's going to find out what you did if he hasn't already.
Look, the more he accuses me, the better he proves my case. His own will is the best proof of his senility and his blind, sick hatred for me. You know what the most important thing that happened tonight? I finally found out what side you're on. Mine.
You make me sound like I'm the prize.
You are, darling. My prize. Oh, my grandfather lost. You're mine. And nothing and no one will ever take you away from me.